Assalamu alaikum, students. Hope you must be fine, safe, and secure at your homes, and you must be enjoying your life with your families in the second wave of COVID 19. Please make sure to make them safe, secure, and protected from this deadly pandemics. I'm Aurangzeb, lecturer of English language at University of South Asia. Students, this is our third week of online learning activities, and this is probably our first recorded session of this week. Before moving towards our today's topic, that is interpersonal skill, I would like to have a recap of the previous week, what we have discussed in previous week, what we have learned from the previous week. Basically, the topic for previous week was spoken skill, that how to improve our spoken communication. And we have discussed different dimensions of spoken skills, that spoken skill is not just all about of uttering the words. It's all about communicating the words. Okay, you need to use your whole body while speaking. Your whole body should involve in speaking. Not there should be non-verbal, you can say, the reinforcement. There should be eye contact. There must be different gestures which may help you to improve your speaking skill, and which may help your listener to interact with you in more impactful and in more concrete way. Okay, so then we have discussed that our pitch, our intonation, our rate of speed, they all play a vital role in our spoken skill. Then we have discussed that if we want to become a better speaker, we need to adapt different strategies, like we need to analyze the audience, we need that who are going to listen to us, we need to have a detailed planning, we need to avoid the political issues, we need to make the arguments should be very strong. So there were different things which we have discussed while discussing the spoken skills. Then let's have another aspect, that we will talk about this communication skill on a purpose base. Okay, why this is important? Basically, yes, we know how to speak, we know how to communicate, we know how to use body language, but what would be the purpose? Basically, our today's topic is interpersonal skill, interpersonal relationship, how to build interpersonal relationship with the help of communication skills. Okay, that is our today's topic, and let's have a look at what we are going to discuss. Yes, basically, students, in interpersonal skills, we will talk about what are the skills which we require to maintain the interpersonal relationship. That is the core concept of our today's lecture, and the whole lecture will revolve around these things. Let's have an overview what we are going to discuss in today's topic. We will talk about what is interpersonal communication, what is interpersonal relationship, then we will talk about importance of interpersonal skills, why they are important, why we need to have a good, or you can say the strong interpersonal skills, what are the principles which we need to follow while practicing our interpersonal skills, then what is the role of empathy and interpersonal skills in establishing the social relationship. That is very much important. Then we will talk about what are the tips which can improve our interpersonal relationship. So that's all which we are going to review today, which we are going to discuss today in detail. Then let's have a look at the learning outcomes, that by the end of this lecture, the students would be able to know the importance of interpersonal relationship. They would be able to judge that why it is why it is important to have a good job, and why it is equally important to maintain our interpersonal relationship within a professional environment. Okay, then they would be able to learn the techniques to improve their interpersonal skills. They would also be able to transform themselves to be a better professional in terms of interpersonal skills. And they would also be able to judge themselves socially, that where they are standing as socially, how much they are social, how much they need improvement, how much they should improve actually. Okay, so these would be the expected learning outcomes from today's lecture. Let's start. Okay, the interpersonal communication. First, let's discuss that what is interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication is the process by which people exchange information through verbal and non-verbal messages. Okay, so it is a process. Same as the communication is a process, interpersonal communication is also a process where we exchange information by using different verbal and non-verbal gestures. Okay, basically the interpersonal skills includes the ability to listen and understand. One of the key important thing that we need to, if we want to have a good interpersonal skill, it also involves our attention, that we need to have a good ability to listen and to understand. A person who can listen, who knows how to listen carefully, he is a good in their interpersonal skill, because he knows how to attract others towards him. And to understand equally, we need to understand the social behaviors. We need to understand the techniques that a person who is employing while communicating. Then interpersonal communication also involves the problem solving. It is not just, you can say, you are just listening, you are just responding. Rather, it involves the problem solving. Since we have discussed when we started this lecture that now we are going to move toward the purpose based communication. So every interpersonal communication have some purpose and have some, equally a type of problem. So if you are communicating interpersonal, if you are involved in the interpersonal communication, and you are working for the problem solving, so it helps to, it also includes the problem solving. When you have to solve a problem, what you will do, you will use your interpersonal skill to solve it. Decision making, then another aspect, that interpersonal skill help us to make decisions. Whenever we have to take certain important decisions, we will utilize our interpersonal skills. And those who are better in their interpersonal communication, they are better decision maker. On the other hand, those who are poor at their interpersonal skill, their decision making, their decision power is also equally poor. Then the personal stress management, if we will talk about the personal stress management, those people who know how to express their stress, they can easily manage it. Those who are unable to handle it, they will collapse. So interpersonal skills not only helps to have a very good communication, it will also help you to solve the problems, to take the decisions, to understand better, to listen better, and to manage your stress equally. So these are the different dimensions which are the part of the interpersonal skill. Overall, this is a purpose-based communication. It is not merely a communication. Then what is IR, which we say the interpersonal, so IPR, sorry, interpersonal relationship. It is basically a relationship between the two people, a reciprocal social and emotional interaction between two or more individuals in an environment. Okay, so interpersonal relationship is basically a social and emotional interaction, reciprocal interaction from both sides, between two or more individuals in an environment, within the working environment, within an environment. It can be formal, it can be informal. So your interaction, both emotionally and socially. Socially means you are meeting with people, you are handling the emotions of the people, you are dealing with emotion. You know when somebody is angry, when somebody is happy, what are the things which make him angry, what are the things which make him, and so you are dealing with socially as well as emotionally. So when you will interact with the people, socially as well as emotionally within an environment. That's it. That is basically you are, that is called the interpersonal relationship. You have a very good interpersonal relationship. So close association between individuals who share common interest and goal. So it is basically an association between the individuals, okay, who share the common interest and goal. It is the association, the closeness of the two people, or the more than two people, more than two individuals who have common goals, who have common interest as well. So when you have common interest, you need to tolerate the people, need to establish the association with the people. So interpersonal relationship is basically your association with those people who have same common goals and interests. Let's talk about why interpersonal skill is important. Interpersonal communication is important because it is very helpful within the workplace where we need to interact with different people. Man is social animal. He has to interact with the people. He has to live within the society. And if you will talk about your if you will talk about your professional life, it's all about your interpersonal communication. Okay, you have to interact in a day, in a single day. You have many interaction. You have to meet with different people. You have to interact with different people. But if you have effective communication, so it will help you to thrive. So if you know how to use interpersonal communication, so it will help to, it will give you an extra edge over the other people. Then, so first thing, that it will help you to move upward within our work environment. Then the second thing, it is an important in maintaining good relationship within family and with friends. So it not only permits you to establish your friendship within the family, it will also allow you to explore the world outside your family, to make friends from your vicinity, from your academic environment, from your professional environment. So it allows you to have more friends. Okay, then interpersonal communication skills are also known as the life skill. It is important. Some people label it as the life skills. So, because these are the skills which help you to live a life, which help you throughout your life. So, if somebody is not adept in using having is isn't having interpersonal skill, he is actually devoid of life, because they are the life skill. They are not skills for a particular task. They are skills related to your survival. Okay, so interpersonal skills involved. That's why the interpersonal skills are important. What are the interpersonal skills? Interpersonal skills are the capabilities of effectively communicate, socialize, connect, and to cooperate with people in life, whether it is an individual or a group. So, very simple, that the interpersonal skills are those abilities, those capabilities which make us, effective communicator, which help us to effectively socialize, to connect, to cooperate with the people. So, those skills are basically called the interpersonal skills, which help us to interact with the people. Either you are interacting with one person or a group. So those skills are called interpersonal skills. All about working with other people. So interpersonal skills is all about others. Is working, mingling, to, you can say, interacting with other people. It's not about the personal improvement. Rather, it's all about to improving your social life, an ability to get along with others while performing the job. So, in short, that ability which helps you to work with the other people in a reciprocal way, and in a positive way, that skill is basically, that ability basically called the interpersonal skill. So characteristics take like manners, attitudes, courtesy, habits, behavior, and appearances, which help us to communicate and maintain a relationship with others. Basically, interpersonal skills are those characteristics which help us to communicate and maintain a relationship. And those characteristics are basically our manners, our courteous behavior, our habits, our appearance, our outlook, our communication. So all these things fall under the interpersonal skills. Then let's talk about the interpersonal principles of interpersonal communication. There are four major principles which help us during the interpersonal communication. The first one is interpersonal communication is inescapable. We need to remember one thing, that within our whole life we cannot escape from interpersonal. We can't avoid it. We have to communicate interpersonally somehow or the other, one way or the other way. Okay, because it is the life skill we have discussed. Then the interpersonal communication is irreversible. The second principle, that once we have said something, we cannot take it back. So we need to be very careful whatsoever we are saying. Okay, the effect must be inevitable. It will remain. The effect which your words, which your communication has created, it will remain. You cannot revert it. Once a word goes out of your mouth, you can never swallow it again. So that is the general formula, that interpersonal skill is always irreversible. Nobody, you cannot reverse the situation whatsoever. Uh, uh, the situation was. You cannot revert it. Then the third principle, interpersonal communication, is complicated. Basically, it is complicated process. Like it is not, where you are simply communicating, because the whole body is participating in interpersonal communication. The number of variables involved, like even a simple request, are extremely complex. That you need self confidence, you need active listening, you need inquisition, your body language should be involved, then your emotionally should be involved, your complete body is working. So generally, remember, if you are going to make a request, if you are going to give an order, it requires a lot of complications, it requires a lot of factors, a lot of variables. So it is not easy, it is not the simplest process, rather it is the complicated one. And the fourth principle, the last principle, that interpersonal skill communication is contextual, that it always happens within the context. Okay, out of the context, no interpersonal skill happens. Okay, so we it is not, you can say, uh, uh, it is not it cannot stand in isolation. It requires the context, it requires a culture. Okay, and the context may be a broader, like religion background. There should be a context where interpersonal communication. So we have discussed the four principles. First one, that interpersonal communication is is you can say inescapable. Then interpersonal communication is you can say irreversible, it is complicated, and it is contextual. These are the four principles which basically help us to understand what interpersonal skill is actually. And interpersonal communication skills require few things which we need to do if we want to improve our interpersonal skills. Like, first of all, it involves the listening skills, communication, general communication skills, verbal communication skills, assertiveness, and non-verbal communication skills. So these are the five different aspects which can help us to improve our interpersonal skills. The first, listening skill. Listening is more important than just verbal communication. Now, you need to remember that listening is not just being, hearing. It is we have discussed that hearing is something else and listening is. So listening is not same as hearing. Listening means paying attention not only to the story, but how it is being told, the use of the language, the voice, how the other person uses his her body to communicate. So when you will involve in the listening activity, you would be involved in the personality who is speaking. So you will focus not only on the words, you will focus on the body language, you will focus on the voice, you will focus on the, you can say, the use of the language, the way it is being conveyed. So in one way or other way, listening skill help us to improve our Interpersonal skill. Listening requires you to concentrate and use your other senses in addition to simply hearing the word. So all the senses, the whole body would be simply the part of the listening skill. And if you are a good listener, you will definitely a good you having a very good interpersonal skill. Look at this, like active listening involve intensity. You need intensity, that how intensely you are involved within the listening. Then empathy, there should be empathy, that you need to be empathetic. You just not only to listen what is being said, rather what is being felt by the speaker, what he wants to say actually. Then the acceptance, you need to accept fully that whatsoever you are listening, you will listen from your heart, you are listening with full attention. Then the responsibility, you need to remain responsible if you want to be a good and active listener. So intensity, empathy, acceptance, responsibility, all these factors play a vital role in improving our listening. Then the communication skill, that uh, communication is not just about what is actually said and the language used, but how it is said and non-verbal messages sent through tone, voice, facial expression, gesture, body language. So all these things are basically, the part of the communication skill. It is not just the words. Okay. Then interpersonal communication is face to face. Simple. The communication face to face communication is called interpersonal communication. We have discussed, the five levels of the communication, and interpersonal skills is one of the level, and it is the most, you can say the basic level from where rest of the levels like micro, macro, and mass communication evolve. People receive messages even when communication is not taking place. So it is very important that how you are communicating. Communication is the key. According to Robert Frost, half the world is composed of people who have something to say and can't, and the other half who have nothing to say and keep on saying it. So this is, the key to, the communication. That if you have nothing to still say something, try to be involved, try to be engaged. And another quotation, according to Wildron, he believes that to say nothing, especially when speaking, is half the art of diplomacy. Okay, say nothing, especially when speaking is means when you have nothing to say, but still you are saying something. That is the diplomacy. Okay, so art of you need to learn this art, that how to be involved. And the verbal communication, like opening the communication, the first few minutes are extremely important as first impression have, like someone, your audience must have certain expectations from you. You need to reach at the expectation. And if you are, your the interpersonal, if interpersonal expectation is mismatched, communication will not be effective for the. So if you are unable to communicate verbally, your interpersonal skill is poor. Then the assertiveness, this is very important. We need to focus on this, that expressing thoughts, feelings, and beliefs in direct, honest, and appropriate ways for your rights. So when you will stand for your right, when you will say whatsoever you feel, when you will are you believe in a direct and honest way, that is your assertiveness. There become you become assertive. But when assertiveness is misunderstood as aggressiveness, being aggressive is something. Sometimes people are, misbehave with the other person. They become aggressive. That is not assertiveness. That is not a social skill. Assertiveness is that within the limits of, decency, you will claim your rights. You will claim that you will express your thoughts and feelings openly. Okay, so that is being assertive. Being assertive means we should also respect the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs of the other people. So it does not mean we should become disrespecting. We should, you can say, humiliate the other person. Rather, it means we need to become assertive. We need to become, the positive. We need to give respect to the other persons as well. So assertiveness aims to be neither passive nor aggressive. So if you want to be assertive, there can be one chance. Either you can be assertive, or you can be passive. Either you can be assertive or you can be aggressive. So there is no third way. Being passive, sometimes many people adopt a passive response because they have a strong need to be liked by others. So just because that other person may not dislike this thing, they become passive. They do not say whatsoever they wish to say, they want to say. So being passive is something else, being assertive is something else. So, and finally it results in the failure of communication. Your confidence level will lose. You will not be able to communicate whatsoever you have fed. Okay, so in this way basically our focus revolve on what others wants, what other things. So when this is the look at this diagram, you will come to know what you want and what other wants is being when you will give, you can say, the importance to other, your focus would be what other wants. And when you become aggressive, what you want. So this is one thing is being selfish, one thing is being too selfless. So both will not help you to become a better interpersonal, utilizing interpersonal skills. You need to be what others want and what you want. You need to be in between both of them. You need to be take stand for your rights, and you need to take respect of the other person. So that is assertiveness. This is very, this picture is actually describing what is being passive, what is being aggressive, and what is being assertive. Being aggressive response undermines the rights of the self-esteem of the you will claim your rights, you will ask for your rights, but you will not you will not take care the respect and self-esteem of the other person. Look at this diagram once again. This is being passive, this is being assertive. Passive is so cool, assertive is, you can say the awakened person, and aggressive is the, you can say the you can find the difference. So includes behaviors like rushing someone unnecessarily, telling rather than asking, ignoring someone, or not considering and others' feeling. This is being aggressive. When you will respect for the others' feeling, when you will give importance, you will give importance to other person. That is being aggressive. So encourage the other person to respond in non-assertive way, either aggressive or passive. So try to be assertive. Don't encourage other person to be aggressive. Rather, try to be assertive and helps the other to be assertive at the same time. And the fifth one is the non-verbal communication. Interpersonal communication involves both explicit as well as implicit meaning expressed through the non-verbal behavior. We uh, interpersonal skill also involve all non-verbal involvement like happiness, sadness, anger. They are our universal expression. They help us to improve our interpersonal communication. Non-verbal communication include the facial expression, tone, pitch and voice, gesture, physical distance. We have discussed in detail non-verbal communication. So remember this thing that interpersonal, there are 5 things which are the part of the good interpersonal skill. Like you must be a good listener, then you must be having good communication skill, you must be using you best at the verbal and non-verbal skills, and you need to be assertive all the time rather than being passive or being aggressive. Then the interpersonal skills while working. Interpersonal skills, they help a lot to us in a workplace environment. Like if they will make us able to take the relationship viewpoint that first of all we will talk about the interpersonal skills from the relationship point of view, and we'll come to know that it help us to uh, maintain the effective relationship within the organization. Okay, so if you are working, you need interpersonal skills, and interpersonal skills will help to have new relationships. Then effective relationship with suppliers, like you have to meet with the different people, you have to interact with the different people. So your interpersonal skill will help you there as well. So effect relationship with the competitors. You have within the 21st century, the market is too competitive that you need to have your place. Okay, and for this thing, you require interpersonal skills. You need to express yourself. You need to express your abilities, and for all those things, you need interpersonal skills. Okay, so that is the uh, Like if we talk about the interpersonal skill while working internally, so you must be the part of the team, you must be across the team, you have to meet up with other teams as well. And within the internal, like you are the part of the management sciences department, so you also have to interact with the computer science department. So that is the, the across the teams. Then within and between departments and business units, you have to work with one department with another department sometimes. So if you have a very good interpersonal skills, you would be having a very good repute internally. Then externally, if we talk about importance of interpersonal skills, so with suppliers, with customers, and we have to communicate to gain real competitive advantage through such a relationship in a long term is dependent on level of interpersonal. If you have a very good interpersonal, so believe me, you would be have dealing customers in a best possible way. You can inspire the person who is meeting to you. You can inspire the suppliers, the customers equally. So internally or externally, your interpersonal skills are going to help you, and they are also going to help you to maintain the best relationship within the organization and the organization. So students, that is all from today, which we will discuss in this first recorded session. And let's have a quick review that what we have discussed up till now. We have started with the interpersonal skills, and we came to know that interpersonal skills is actually the ability, the capacity to express yourself effectively, to express yourself in front of the audience. Then we have discussed that interpersonal skills include our ability to understand other people, our ability to solve the problem, our ability to take decision, and our ability to stress management. When we will cope up with all these things, we are a person with sound interpersonal skills. Then we have discussed that it is the interpersonal relationship when you interact with people socially, emotionally in a certain environment. You are basically establishing your interpersonal relationship. So, interpersonal relationship is a close association of you with your with other individuals of having common interest. Then we have discussed the importance of interpersonal communication. That you need to have good communication skills. If you are at a working place, you need to maintain a good relationship, and do you need to have a very good communication skill. That is those skills which are, they are basically called the life skills. We have also discussed the principles of interpersonal communication. There are four principles. It is in that interpersonal skill is inescapable, irreversible, complicated, and contextual. Inescapable, that we cannot escape it, we cannot avoid it. Irreversible, that once we have said something, we cannot take it back. It is complicated, that not only you are communicating, but your whole body is involved in that process. And it is contextual. All the time interpersonal skills happens within a context, it cannot happen without the context. Then we have discussed the five interpersonal skills which help us to improve, to become a better social person: our listening skill, our communication skill, our verbal communication, our being assertiveness, and non-verbal communication. These are the different things which we have discussed today. And within the listening skill, we have discussed that the more you are a good listener, the more you would be better in using the interpersonal skill. Then we have discussed that you need to use all of your body while communication. Then we have discussed the key that we need to be involved, we need to be engaged rather than detached. Then we have discussed that uh, verbal communication, like the opening of the communication, you need something, you need to maintain your repute, you need to establish your repute. Then we need to be assertive, we need to take stand against our rights, and we need to be, you can say, expressive, what we think, what we believe, rather than to become aggressive, okay, or to become a passive. And we have discussed that the non-verbal communication, the last skill which is important for interpersonal improvement skill, that is our using of gesture, facial expression, tone, etc. Then we have also discussed that why we need interpersonal skills within the working environment. The first of all, we have to maintain the relationship with supplier, competitor, and the other organization. Then we need to work within the within the organization with teams, different departments. So we need interpersonal skills to maintain our repute. Then externally, we have to meet up with the customers, with the suppliers, with other competitors. So if we are good at interpersonal skills, we are having an advantage. So that's all from today's students. Today's first recorded lecture. If you people find any difficulty, if you people find any issue uh, regarding the understanding of this lecture, you can post it through Google Classroom. You can also ask me through WhatsApp group. You can also post your send me your confusions through email. I'm here to reply you, to tackle all those issues. And please, I'll post these two videos in Google Classroom. You are required to come up with detailed understanding of these, uh, you can say, the complete understanding of the skill, these sorry concept, these two videos, so that we may have a fruitful discussion, so that we may have a very good debate on this issue. Okay, we will discuss this. I'll ask certain question from you. You will ask from me in the interactive session, which probably we are going to conduct this week. Okay, the third, you can say, the interactive session. So students, in generally, remember the thing that in the whole of your life you need interpersonal skills. If you want to be a very good uh, worker, you need to have a very good interpersonal skills. And if you are not a good worker, if you do not want to thrive, to grow professionally, then you can work without interpersonal skills. But in 21st century, a job, give a person who is going to give you job, he will first of all look the interpersonal skills, that how much you are equipped with the interpersonal skills. There are so many people who are very intelligent, but they are socially, they are, their social intelligence is not up to the mark, so therefore they lag behind in different spheres of life because of their inability to express themselves. So if you will work on your interpersonal skill, you have a better chance to impress the other, you have a better chance to cope up with the other things. So that's all from today, students. Please, please, please come up with your preparation and come up with your question. We will tackle it. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz. And remember me in your prayers.